Sandy Valley man fatally shot girlfriend during an argument. This old joker looks mean. He just looked like an old mean, angry, grouchy, grumpy old joker. A man fatally shot a woman in front of her daughter during an argument in their Sandy Valley home. David Kashich,
arrested for allegedly murdering his girlfriend. Metro police say this man, 62-year-old David Kashich, shot and killed her after an argument. This happened in Sandy Valley on Marble near Ottawa last night. Kashich is facing a slew of charges, including murder and assault with a deadly weapon.
And you know I'm nosy, so I went on his Facebook page and saw where he said they just recently got engaged about a year or 2 years ago, and they seem happy. On February the 2nd, police responded to the 800 block of Marble Avenue about 9 p.m. after a person called saying their mother had been shot. The daughter accused Wheeler's boyfriend, Kashich, of shooting Wheeler during an argument in their bedroom. The couple were arguing after Wheeler confronted Kashich about stealing money. Kashich grabbed a handgun. With one hand, he grabbed Wheeler's daughter by the hair, and with the other he shot Wheeler in the chest. That I told y'all, this is my first time reading this, you guys. Told you that's an evil son of a biscuit. Police said Kashich then ran into the backyard with the gun and his phone. After police arrived, they called Kashich, who then surrendered to officers. Well, I see they didn't unalive him. I see they didn't give him a whoop down. I see they didn't knock his teeth out and give him a black eye. Because of a felony conviction in 2001 in Washington, Kashich is prohibited from having a firearm. He remained in custody without bail and is due in court Thursday. So this is recently. Prayers go out to Mrs. Wheeler. I'm pretty sure that was not the first time this old fool acted up, and as you see, and I was just fixing to say, normally these days with these old jokers, a dude in his 60s, and he looked old, he looked like he's in his 80s, they don't want anybody their own age. So that's why I know I was looking at that little picture everybody's showing of Ben and Jen. I don't know, I forgot what their little name, Benifer. He looked like he was tired or sleepy. Most of the time, these dudes, when they get in their 60s or even the ones in their 40s or late 40s, they want chicks like 10, 15, 20 years younger than them. So only reason he was with this woman, his old broke butt wanted her money. So he can probably go give it to some other woman, some little young woman, or go buy him some liquor, or go to the strip joint. Just evil, mean, ugly, diabolical trash from the Black Lagoon, creature from the Black Lagoon. Moving on, you guys, because you know I get very passionate. I get overly passionate about these stories. Here, Washington man accused of wife burying her alive. Chae An, 53, has been charged with kidnapping, domestic violence, and attempted murder.
Of survival out of Lacey, Washington. A woman says she was stabbed in the chest by her husband and buried in a shallow grave with a heavy tree on top of her. She goes on to say she struggled for hours, finally tearing off the duct tape that bound her, and ran 30 minutes until she found a house. Now she is recovering. Her husband has been arrested on suspicion of first-degree attempted murder. Now this case just unbelievable. We are joined live by Lacey, Washington Police Chief Robert Almada. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Natasha. Good evening.
Good evening. I do want to clear something up because the woman was found after she escaped that shallow grave on Monday at 1 a.m. But police in Lacey responded the day before to her house on Sunday afternoon after receiving a 911 call of a woman screaming who sounded gagged. Walk me through what happened there.
So about a week ago Sunday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we received phone calls through 911. Exactly as you say, female screaming with a muffled sound as if she was gagged, and the call was cut off. We had the address as a residence here in Lacey. We responded, and we found the location. The garage door was open. The The house had been ransacked. Cell phones have been smashed. Other devices have been smashed, and everybody was missing. A few minutes later, her 2 children arrived, 1 adult, 1 minor, and it said that the father had been there earlier in the day, and there had been some problems, some arguments.
At that point, did you immediately realize that something was amiss and police started searching for her? Or what happened at that point? Because police didn't have contact with her again until she brought herself to someone's house at 1 in the morning after being stabbed and buried.
Right. So we found duct tape with hair on it, and really appeared some bad things had happened. We found video from some neighboring neighbors where a van had been pulled into the garage, and the garage door closed and then they left. So based on the information, we believe we had a kidnapping. We alerted our local, state, and federal law enforcement partners and started putting out bulletins trying to locate the victim. That went on for about 12 hours until we got first contact, where the victim had been able to escape her attacker and gone to a nearby house in a rural area a few miles away from where she was abducted.
Do you believe the police could have done anything more, or was anything missed? Did things proceed exactly the way, with hindsight being 2020, the way that you would have wanted?
Well, I'm very pleased with our response. We used every resource we had. We called in detectives, our special operations folks. We notified county resources, state resources, federal resources, and started using all means possible to attempt to track down the victim. Unfortunately, like you talked about, the suspect took steps to mask his tracking. So he destroyed all her phones, destroyed the Apple Watch she had, and it means that we had to track her via those and also his own, and went to mask his trail.
Thank you. And I do want to ask about the Apple Watch specifically, because the woman says even though he bound her and she was blindfolded, she tried to contact 911 and send emergency notifications using her watch, and then he smashed it. Can you provide any insight? Did those notifications to 911 go through? Did that make a difference?
It assisted us to know that something was wrong, but it really didn't help us as far as locating her any farther as far as our investigation. Later on, after she was located, we went back to the area she described. We found the grave that the suspect had dug. We found the duct tape that was there. We found the imprint from her Apple Watch on that duct tape, along with her hair.
Apple Watch, you guys, I don't know what is comparable to that, because I know Apple Watch is high, but that is a good thing to have. So prayers go out to Miss Ann, and that this man is put away, because I am scared of what he would do again if he is let out. And as you see, these domestic violence creeps, creatures, predators, losers, devil rejects, they come in all colors, ages, looks.